Welcome. What do you reckon? Do you think you should introduce it? Is that what should happen? You say no. I just think they should all like and subscribe, and then I can go on the floor and they will leave me alone. Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Healeyverse Creations. Today we are going to be looking at customizing some arrows. So, for further context to what I mean, we recently did an archery video, which did very well. Thank you all for watching. In that video, we were blessed with multiple comments and a lot of advice. One of which was that we needed to get some more feathered arrows, rather than using the plastic veined arrows like these. Apparently they're not great for this sort of bow that we've been using back here. The feathers will allow it to travel more evenly across the bow because they'll actually move, whereas the veins will bounce. So, makes sense. However, the arrows that we ordered turned out to not actually be feather. So, they have this plasticky... It's got these synthetic fletchings on it that just... they don't feel great. So, we've got a pack of them. We've got 12 of them. For now, I'm just going to be looking at doing 2 of them. One, because this one has a weird abnormality in it. And this one... doesn't need much more explanation. It's gone all creased and crazy. So I'm going to strip these off and I'm going to attach some feathers because I have plenty. And they are from the peacocks that wander around where we live. Don't worry, no peacocks were harmed during the claiming of these feathers. They literally just drop them everywhere. There's 8 of them. You get a lot of feathers falling out here, there and everywhere. Obviously you get a lot of the long tail feathers as well, but we can't really use them for fletchings. Here's the one I made earlier. My plan is going to be to basically repeat this with a couple of others of these feathers, sort of mix and match a couple of the colours, do some darks and some mottled ones, and then get them split, thinned down, and then mounted onto the side of the arrows in place of these plastic ones. With that said, let's have a look at doing it. If you haven't liked and subscribed already, I'll wait. Now I need to actually do it. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to have to look at doing is stripping off the original fletchings. These cheapy plastic ones, they need to go. Now that that's done, I'm going to be looking at just breaking up the last couple of feathers, really. Get them ready, get them prepped. Struggling with getting them nice and straight, but I'm assuming that's something that I'll get better with as I keep going at it. Hopefully the more I make, the more natural it'll start to feel trying to split them centrally. I'll figure out any little techniques. Any ideas you have, feel free to leave them in the comments. You know the drill. One thing I will point out I did find particularly fun was being able to just put these things on the anvil and just whack them with a hammer. There's just a joy in whacking everything with a hammer on an anvil. I'll stand by it. Now that I'm shaving down the backs of the feathers, I'm realising it's very fibrous. They just go everywhere, and to be honest, I don't know how far down I'm supposed to be going. Again, I'm assuming that's something I'll get more used to with time. At the moment, I know you're just supposed to sort of take off the top layer. I don't know why. So, but one thing I will say though is definitely worth it when you get to the point where you've put all your little break holes in your feather and you can just... very satisfying. Yeah, that's very satisfying. So next thing I need to do is sand the inside filamenty stuff. There's like a white plastery feeling kind of stuff that runs on the inside of feathers. I don't know how to describe it. I don't know what it's called, but it's unusual. And you just have to sand it out, try and get it as close down to the actual outer membrane as possible. And that kind of gives you your surround for your arrow. Easier said than done. Could take a bit of time. It's fiddly. Trying to make sure you can sort of get in and sand all that stuff out while just holding the barbs of the feathers without damaging them. It's a little bit fiddly, but you get used to it. Most of the the issue with doing this, I found, was trying not to damage the barbs of the feathers, because once you sort of break them apart, at least with the peacock feathers, they don't seem to want to knit together the same way again. And don't get me wrong, they can look cool in certain patterns and the way they sort of fan out, but if you want that nice and neat looking arrow fletching, careful not to go chopping them too short or bending them or snapping them, and definitely try not to cover them in glue, because obviously that will stop them from separating. You'll see. I found that out the hard way. So cutting them down to shape was really satisfying. Just snipping down the edges, cutting a few of the barbs off the top and bottom, and just sort of getting that first glimpse of what they're going to look like, what is essentially the fletching itself. That was cool. I enjoyed that. Yep, I did that. I did do that thing. So, so what happened was, I'd attempted to try and just squeeze the glue straight out of the bottle. Nothing was coming out. So I thought it must have gone firm. It must have gone hard, because there was air coming out but no glue. So I was like, it's gone bad. It'll be fine. Then I thought I'll just show a quick glimpse of what glue it is I'm using. That's my bad. That's on me. It was fine. I just got another feather, cut it down to shape again. It took me 5 minutes to repair it. It was a real revolutionary moment for me of just leave the lid on when you're showing things. I don't know why I left the lid. I'd taken the lid off to use it, and then I was like, oh, actually, I'll just quickly. I know for next time. So after 10 minutes of trying to get glue off my hands, and neat little trick I found at the time, if I quickly mixed some hand sanitizer in, and don't get me wrong, it didn't stop it entirely, but it just helped form a bit of a layer between. So I don't know if there's any validity to that, or if I'm causing some kind of chemical imbalance. Any doctors are welcome to tell me I need to seek medical assistance immediately. But it stopped the glue from sticking awfully. So I'll be honest with you, trying to line up the first sections of the fletchings going onto the arrows itself was an absolute pain in the backside, trying to get them evenly spaced out and trying to make sure they're running up straight. The key is kind of to just work in sections. It's not the easiest thing to do, because again, you don't want to bend your feather too far away because you don't want to break it. So you kind of have to, maybe it's the glue. Using super glue, I wanted something that would dry quickly so that I wouldn't be there trying to hold it for half an hour. I'm sure there's something that probably works better. Maybe some kind of contact cement might work better, so I can let it set and then just press two. I'll try that on the next ones maybe. I found the key is start from the bottom, work your way up. Once you've got the first section on and set, may even be worth doing that with all three, and then wrap your thread around to hold them in place, and then work the rest of your way up, and you know that no matter how far they go down, they're not going to come off of that point where they're threaded down. Just a little tip that I came to realise as I was going through them was putting the thread on first can kind of help anchor everything together. Having to trim them down was painful, very painful, especially because a lot of the nice bluey tone colours were right on the edge, so as soon as I trimmed it down, a lot of them were gone and kind of just left with a grey feather, but they still look good. The zigzag ones help make it pop a little bit at least. My aim was to line it up so that the two black ones were on the vertical axis and the zigzag would be on the horizontal, so that I'd always have a clear signatured colour for what it'd be, so I could just quick draw. I did end up messing one of them up. Totally didn't even think about it until they were already attached. Ended up sticking the zigzag one to the bottom of the arrow instead. But it's fine. It doesn't really make any difference. It was just trying to help me remember. Now I just have to remember it's at the bottom of the arrow instead. I think the finish speaks for itself. I mean, they look clean. And there we have them. 2 fully peacock fletched arrows. And I'm going to be honest, I'm pretty happy with how these turned out. I think they're pretty pleased with these myself. One thing left to do now is let's go test them out. Right, so now that we've got the new fletched arrows, let's give them a go. See if I ruined them. Okay. Right, first test with the new arrows. Will they fly straight?
That sounded great.
That sounded awesome. Next one. So I did accidentally orient one of them slightly wrong. I was hoping the zigzagged feathers would be outwards, but it doesn't actually make any difference. Wow, I mean, speaks for itself. They work very nicely. Very happy with them. I'm going to call that a success. There we go. Performed great. Whether or not they perform as well as the other arrows that we got, you'll have to wait until the next archery video to find out. For now, I'm well happy with them. I'll definitely be making some more. Oh, look at that, I made some more. I decided with these, I'd been seeing whisperings online of 2 fletched arrows. And I thought, that sounds handy. Because it doesn't really make much difference in how straight they fly, as long as it gives it the necessary drag that they're wanting to be able to fly straight, which they do. And by having only 2, you have them at the top and bottom, which means that on another plane, it's totally flat. So that just zips straight across the side of your bow, catches nothing. And you have to put 1 less fletching on. Winning all round. I'm not going to bore you with the making of these 2, because it's basically more of the same, but with 1 less fletching on each one. You may have noticed there's been some patchwork done on this one. This one, bit of a spoiler, when we tried shooting them, I missed one. It hit the tree. I say I missed one, I probably missed a couple. I doubt it was just one, because these are sturdy. I have to give them credit, they are sturdy arrows. To say they weren't the most expensive, but unfortunately this one did come a cropper. I didn't notice it was broken until I got home. But not only did I patch it, I decided to refletch it. I did my own little knotted thing in there to hold it slightly higher up as well, just to make sure where it was split doesn't come apart. It's all being glued up, it's being threaded back together. I'm going to use it as many times as I can get out of it until it explodes on me again. And you can't stop me. That is everything, guys. That is us with 4 new arrows to add to the collection. Super excited. Going forwards, I'm going to make a few more of them. They look cool and it feels good knowing that I made them myself. I'm just kind of you know. So yes, if you've made it this far in the video, we very much appreciate it. If you've liked and subscribed, we also very much appreciate it. If you haven't, what are you doing? Any ideas, leave in the comments. Any tips on how to do it better, or any methods for hollowing out the inside, any advice, anything you've got, anything you want to offer. Until next time, thank you all very much for joining us, and we'll see you soon.